What's up, everybody? I'm back with another episode of the Keep Going podcast. Today's guest is Cameron Burke. He's been a guest before, and I'm blessed that he came on again. He's a real estate investor, a realtor, and owns over $8 million in his real estate portfolio. He's only 24 years old, currently working on a 200-acre development project, as well as an industrial commercial building and much more. We dive deep into his business, his systems, what's on the horizon, but we also get to talk about his elk hunt last October. It was his first time getting an elk, went to New Mexico with his business partner and great friend, Jimmy Green. The stories are awesome. It's always nice to catch up with a good friend and being able to learn not only about the business, but balance, personal life, fun stories. It just can't get better than that. Cam, I love you, bro. I appreciate you always. Looking forward to fishing on the John boat. As always, keep going. Well, it's nice to have you again, and the first episode was so much fun, and it was early on as well. I believe you were definitely before 50.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I had to be like in the 30s or something like that, and I appreciate you being a part of the journey, but also being willing to come back on. This is the beautiful part about it is there's going to be these chapters with certain folks.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is my 9th time on here. It's like, man,
exactly.
But look at the growth, especially with you, with how much you've been doing, not only on the media, but talk about what you've been doing media-wise and then real estate, because you've been booming on your YouTube and things like that.
Dude, thank you, bro. And thanks for the opportunity, seriously.
Of course, bro. Of course.
I'm excited to be able to chop it up. And it was funny because the last time we met, I left so relaxed, and I was like, sometimes I go into podcasts and they can be draining, and like the one that we did was such a good conversation. It allowed me to think, because dude, you know how it is. You get into the day-to-day, you get real busy, you're just very repetitive. And at this point in my business, it's pretty boring overall, which is good. That's what we want. I have systems, I have meetings, we're doing similar stuff on a weekly basis. It's good to be able to come into this and just think, just have a good time. So,
well, and like we said, before we even started recording, we're like, I'm on a call, you're on a call.
Yeah.
And, maybe that would disrupt people that weren't used to that type of schedule.
Mm-hmm.
But for us, it was like, let's knock out these calls and then we get this time together. And
exactly.
I feel the same way. It's soothing, it's relaxing, and then it's also engaging.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, in business, I feel like you always focus on making money, or if you're an athlete, you're like, where's my results?
Yeah.
Sometimes there's these intangible activities you do that just add to your worth. Like there's net worth and mental worth and all these things. And I feel like this is very stimulating because we're engaging in a long form conversation instead of short clips and scrolling through.
Yeah.
And also maybe asking questions that we wouldn't give ourselves enough time to ask. 100%. Because if we're talking on the phone, respectfully, because of how we know how we operate, I want to be as quick as possible and make sure the message is there and you can go on with what you're doing, because you're taking care of your family and you're taking care of the business. So I think this aspect, even though it's so normal to talk to people, it's not done enough. Yeah. I think this is really healthy for us,
100%,
us individually.
100%. Yeah. And I'm glad to get back together. So since we've last met, I don't even think I had a YouTube channel at that time.
I don't think so, but I've been keeping up with it and it's been growing.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, so it just hit 30,000 subscribers yesterday. Wow. So
I remember when you posted 1,000.
I know.
It was like 1.2K or something.
I started last June. So yeah, we met probably a couple months before that. Came back from a trip, decided I was just going to go record. We did it on an iPhone. And, the rest is history. We've had a good time. I've been trying to shoot for 2 videos a week, and then we take that, like our strategy in essence is just we take our long form and post it in short form. Because it's hard. I'm not really a short form guy. I've never really been a short form guy. When I was posting more short form, which is where I saw my first success, it did well for me, but it would frustrate me because I'm trying to fit what I want to say. I'm trying to add value in a minute and a half, and it's like, this is frustrating because I want to expand and I want to talk and I couldn't do that. And so going on YouTube and just being able to ramble in essence is really nice because I can talk about what I want to talk about, And so it's changed the trajectory of my business. Media is crazy. I'm sure you've seen it as well, just what it can do for you. And so it's been pretty awesome, the YouTube thing has.
And what's your channel called? Just Cameron Burke?
Just Cam Burke Real Estate.
Yes, sir.
Cam Burke Real Estate.
So when you start growing it, did you focus on, like, my bad, bro, playing footsies with you, like the technical side of, like, do I use hashtags? Do I post this many times? Or did you just look at it with raw engagement and it's just been growing from that?
Dude, you know, I've always said that I want to stay true to, like, myself whenever I'm posting whatnot. That's why a lot of the stuff that does well on short form, I'm not willing to do. It's just not me, you know? And so there's stuff that I know is like, okay, well, if I did this, let's say if I posted checks, if I want, you know, like, and there's nothing wrong with people that do that. It's just for me and the brand that I want to build, because when I think about brand, I think about association.
Yeah.
And I don't want people to associate me with those things, you know? And so when it came to the YouTube, I came back from a trip and I was like, Logan, my project manager, I said, hey, we're just going to go record our projects, like just what we do. We're going to go walk our projects and we're just going to talk. And literally did that. And I think I got really lucky, bro, honestly, because they say on YouTube, it's the hardest social media to be able to get engagement on. Because if you think like short form, Instagram, even LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, you're scrolling and the platform is feeding you information. They're feeding you the reels. Mm-hmm. You're not choosing to click on the reels. They're feeding them to you. But with YouTube, people are scrolling to choose what they want to watch. And it's a large commitment that they're making. It's not like a 30-second commitment like a short. They're making, you know, my videos are upwards of an hour long. And so those hour-long videos, I may only have 10,000 views on them, but they're very dialed views because it's a lot of, think about how many shorts it would take to make up an hour-long video. You know what I mean?
So that's what you mean by dialed, is like the density of how much viewing time?
Well, it's just that there's a lot of competition on YouTube. And so that's where I say that I think I got really lucky. I made this video and I just posted, like, I think at the time I owned $8 million in real estate. Like, it was how I bought $8 million in real estate by 24. And it was just me talking and I said, hey, we're going to go check out some of these projects. And I just rambled. And I think I like talked poorly on my projects because they were going poorly. I had one project that was really going poorly. And like overall, they were going fine, but just like the bad things that were happening. And I think that was a pattern interrupt for a lot of people because they're like, why is this guy not acting like he's the
got
shit
it all
in essence? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And so it threw people off. And so that video performed well. And then I just daisy chained off of that in essence.
And so you're going on almost a year, and to get to 30,000 subscribers that fast is crazy.
Thank you, bro.
And it makes me wonder, like, especially since you are so consistent, like, just stay on that for 10 years. Like,
Yeah.
what does that look like?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
And it's so smart to just be raw with your value, because you always say at the end of your videos, like, I hope this adds value.
Yes, thank you, bro.
And of course, and it's funny because that's why you're getting so much engagement, is because no matter who you are, me, people here at your brokerage at LRE or wherever, they can get some value from it. Because it may not be the same for each person, but I'll watch a video of yours and be like, yeah, that does make sense. Or you'll talk about funds not coming through how they should have, or this project fell through, or that stuff helps. And
I appreciate that.
I think that's why you said that it was a pattern disrupt.
Yeah.
Because people most of the time want to say, well, this is how you get rich quick and this is how it works. And it's the day-to-day is so important. And something I like about the idea is sometimes I even forget to be like, okay, I should post that I'm looking at these projects and things like that. Because like you said, we get so caught in the routine of, well, I'm grinding every day from this time to this time. So I don't even think about it. But just adding a little bit in there is a game changer. And look, you've got a whole nother segment of your business now, which will only grow.
Yeah, I hope so.
So did that get you more exposure here locally to be on more podcasts, or do you think it was just from your Instagram, how popular you are on there?
Dude,
because it seems like it was in a bunch.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say I'm very popular on Instagram, bro.
Then
like
maybe.
In essence, yeah. So most of the people that followed me on Instagram have come from Facebook.
Okay.
Or have come from not Facebook, YouTube. Instagram is kind of an odd one because I do okay on Instagram. Like I probably get 100 to 150,000 impressions a month on Instagram, which is my lowest out of Facebook, and YouTube, because YouTube, I'm 200,000 to 400,000 views a month, and then Facebook, depends on the month if I'm posting, but 200,000 to 600,000.
Okay.
So Instagram is definitely the lowest performer, but most of the people that have followed me there over the last 8 or 9 months have come from YouTube for sure. Is where they found me. And then, I usually have a call to action of some sort. If you want this free calculator, shoot me a message on Instagram. I'll send it to you, because I wanted to grow my Instagram. And so that's how I was able to do that.
How's it been then with it? Because it did seem like you had a few podcasts in a row as far as in the winter months.
Yeah, I did. So I had one local, and then the rest were just virtual podcasts. I actually just got off the phone. Logan Fulmer's team, I don't know if you know who that is.
So,
He's
yeah.
a guy out of Texas that does a lot of distressed deals. They just invited me down. So it's hit or miss right now. I had a big channel reached out to me a couple weeks ago. I haven't heard back from them, but there's no telling when it comes to like who's reaching out or why. You know what I mean? I have the weirdest but coolest opportunities come my way. Like, for example, I wear this Two Conks shirt, which is my fishing shirt. And this guy called me. He's from Marathon, Florida, which is where Two Conks is at, which is where I like to vacation. And he's like, holler at me. We've got Airbnbs. We've got like whatever you need. Let me know if you're coming down. I just wanted to give you my info and let you know that I'm here. And I was like, that's super cool, And so the reach is all across the United States with the YouTube. Facebook is more local for sure. That's where, when it comes to getting deal flow, I still get most of my deal flow from Facebook, because it's just more of a local following.
Yeah.
YouTube is nationwide.
That's cool that your YouTube is drawing those connections, because that's what I've learned through doing the podcast and just being more open, is you make these random connections. They're like, hey, when you're in this area, or when you're here, or hey, we should connect on this. And you're like, because when you think back to when you would be looking up to older people you knew, and they knew so many people, you wonder how. But I think when you're being authentic and consistent, it just starts to evolve.
Yeah.
And it has for you, because I know it's been about a year since we sat down and did this, but just watching you from afar, it's been positive trajectory, which is great. And I guess I bring up the podcast because since I have spent so much time with you, I like seeing those opportunities for people to learn more about you. Because I feel like I've been lucky enough in the short amount of time we've had to really build a relationship. So when I see you be open with those other folks and those other people listening, it's a cool experience.
I appreciate that, bro. Thank you, dude.
As far as business side, if you have something you want to talk about first, that's fine. But I really want to talk about your elk trip.
Oh, dude.
Is that cool?
I wish I would have brought the meat today. I didn't even think about it. I still owe you some meat. I still have it.
I forgot.
Like I told you I'd give you some.
Yeah. No, we'll do that. But
because you were the most excited to get some elk meat, bro. And
I was excited to see you do it.
You share that excitement with me. That makes me excited to give you some meat. You know what I mean?
Well, it'll be much appreciated.
Yeah. 100%.
My wife loves it. I love it. And honestly, that was the thing I was looking forward to talking to you about the most. If you can dive into it.
Oh, I'd love to. So, we went on that elk trip back in, I believe it was October of last year.
You and Jimmy, right?
Me and my business partner, Jimmy. And, I had been telling him that I wanted to go on an elk trip. And I'm a amateur hunter, you could say. I've hunted a little bit. I enjoy it, but I didn't grow up hunting. I didn't know a ton about hunting. And so he calls me up one day. It's like a month before the trip. He's like, you still want to go? And I was like, yeah, I still want to go elk hunting. And maybe I had like a month and a half. He was like, all right, well, you need to get ready. And so he sends me $10,000 worth of gear to go buy, pretty much. Because he's like, if we're going to go in the backcountry,
you need everything.
You need everything, and you need to be ready. We're not hunting whitetail.
No, it's not a joke. You're not driving up to the blind and sitting in there.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, all right. So I hesitated a little bit, but I was like, no, so I went, pulled the trigger. I don't spend money on random stuff, and this was something I wanted to do. And so bought all the gear that I needed, had my pack. I had not been prepping for the elk trip, and that was the number one miss that I had with this whole thing was the prep work that goes into it.
The endurance training.
Oh my goodness, dude. Like, I've been rucking with a 70-pound pack on a Stairmaster. And for this next year's elk trip, and we're 8 months out. So I'm prepping today for when we get there. So, but I got really lucky. I was not in shape. We get there, and Jimmy
We're at Colorado, or?
Yeah. Or no, we went to New Mexico.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So we get to New Mexico, and Jim has a a little piece of land that he's got. And so we ended up just pitching our tents there. And we were going to possibly go into the backcountry, move into the backcountry depending on how things were looking after the first day or two. And so we go scout the first day. Thankfully, we had just had, and this is rifle season, not archery. And I still am not ready for archery season.
Yeah, it's such a different animal.
Dude, I am excited to kill my first archery bull, but I don't want to go spend archery. It's so expensive, number one, and I don't want to miss, and I don't want to hit wrong, and I just don't think I'm there yet. So,
well, I'll let you know it is fun to shoot those compounds because I've archery hunted for quite a while, and it's pretty fun.
Dude, I came back and archery hunted
nice.
whitetail
yeah,
for the rest of the season.
Yeah, just to get ready.
And I had a blast, yeah.
But I know what you mean with the pressure of an elk because you're working so hard to get to that opportunity,
dude,
and you have to get so close.
Exactly.
Because that rifle, you can be there's people that shoot them 300 yards away.
Yeah, dude, they shoot them up to 1,000 yards. Damn. I know, it's crazy. So
that's insane.
Yeah, 1,000 yards is wild. You can see the bullet traveling through the air when I see the videos, and then it hits them. So
that's wild. So you all scouted the first day?
Yeah, so we scouted the first day, and we just had a light snow up past 9,000 feet, and we're pretty high up there. Is where we're hunting.
What area? I'm pretty familiar with New Mexico.
It's like Taos area.
Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
Taos area, exactly, up in the mountains. So. I can't remember what base elevation was, but it was pretty high.
At least like 7, 8.
Yeah, exactly. And so I wasn't prepped up for that. Usually going down there, you don't get a good night's sleep, especially if you're sleeping outside. We're sleeping in a tent, which didn't bother me. But dude, we, that first night, and I'll backtrack back to this, but that first night, Jim had told me we need these little blow up mattresses. They go in between you and the ground or you and the cot. Well, I didn't realize that He told me to leave, you blow them up with this bag. Mm-hmm. Told me to leave the bag on the blow-up mattress. And so I'm like, all right, I left it on there. This is my first time using one of these little blow-up pads like this. So wake up at 3 a.m. It's 20 degrees outside, and my pad is completely it's gone. All the air is gone out of it. And I'm thinking, the heck happened here, And I don't want to wake Jim up. It's our first night. And so I roughed it out. I did not sleep at all the rest of that night. Come to find out the next day, I didn't shut the valve. I was like, oh my goodness. So I didn't sleep at all that first night. But before that, we're up there scouting. We got some elk sign that first day in some fresh snow. Or we went up a day before season started. So the first day was just full scouting. So nice. We get up and we saw some elk sign from that fresh snow. It was okay. Jim's like, he's helping me out a ton here because he's elk hunted for a while. He's 6-7 years. And he's like, all right, this isn't the best spot. It was literally, we had an ATV road here and the meadows here. This is where we caught the sign. So the ATV road is literally right up against the meadow, which is not good. It's probably pressured out, but that was the spot we saw the sign. And so anyways, we find that spot and then we don't really find anything else the rest of the day. In New Mexico, you've got a 15% chance to tag out on just an elk, not even bull, but bull and cow. And so the odds are low. We're on public land, not guided. So the odds are pretty low overall. So the next day, Jim's like, all right, you take the ATV, go up to that spot that we found, sit up there and see if you can get on something. I'm gonna hike up behind where we're staying and see if I can get any sign back here. I was like, all right, sounds good. So I get out there.
How'd you feel on these missions? Because I'm just thinking of it being my first elk hunt and learning the ropes, Because I've done a lot of hunting, but not elk. And they're like, go sit here, look for this. I know you felt kind of
Jim
Rambo. You felt good.
Yeah, I love Jim, dude. But he's like, we'll get it done. I was trying to prep up for this elk hunt beforehand and asking him questions and stuff. And he's like, I'll tell you on the way down.
You had 8 hours to drive.
Yeah, he's like, I'll tell you what we're going to do on the way down. I'm like, all right, sounds like a plan. I was just following your lead here. So anyways, he kind of tells me, what I need to know on the way down. And so that first day, I was a little nervous. I'm like,
sitting there with your camo and your binoculars, feeling good.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, all right. And then beyond that, what was stressing me out was I had practiced. I felt good out to 300 yards with the rifle.
And what kind of rifle are you shooting?
It's 6.5 Creedmoor, which is a really small round for an elk. But I was borrowing Jim's rifle. I didn't have a good rifle. And so he had the 6.5 Creedmoor, which in the elk community, people make fun of the 6.5 Creedmoor because they think it's an underpowered round for elk. But I'll tell you, it does put them down. Yeah. So anyways, what I was most nervous about was I practiced on shooting on a pad. But that first night, I didn't realize this. Jim's like, hey, you're just going to need to use your trekking pole to stabilize. I'm thinking, what do you mean? Like, we're switching up all of a sudden? You know what I mean? Like, you just want me to stabilize on a trekking pole? And so I get out there and I sit in this spot and I'm watching this meadow across the meadow like this. And it was like, I got out late. We didn't read the time right. I didn't read the time right. And it's like just now daylight, which, at that point I'm out a little late. And so I get out there, I get in a position and I'm trying to mess with the trekking pole. I'm like, this isn't really working very well. And so I move spots and I'm trying to swing the rifle back and forth. I'm just watching, making sure that I could move the rifle if I saw something come through it. That's not working. So finally I just post up in this one spot and I just look out. It's about 140, 150 yards. And I'm like, I'll just watch this. Like, this is all I really can do because I can't move this trekking pole back and forth. I'm getting
so
frustrated.
Unstable.
Yeah, I'm getting frustrated. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to shoot an elk if it comes out. And so I'm getting in my head. It's that first day.
How long did you sit?
Dude, I'm there. I mean, I'm
8,
there.
9 hours.
Yeah, no, it really wasn't that bad.
I
was there 2 hours. Probably,
okay.
An hour and a half. Yeah. And elk comes out, nice 5x5. And I'm losing it.
What?
I'm like, no way. First day, opening day.
It's been 2 hours.
It's been 2 hours. It's the best day to get on them. And so this thing comes out, and Jim told me 2 things. Don't hesitate, and don't stop until it's down. And so, anyways, that's what he told me. So I'm like, all right, fair enough. So it comes out, and it's broadside, staring right at me.
Staring at you, fuck.
I know, which is not a good shot to take.
No.
He said, don't hesitate. So boom, I put one straight in its chest and it doesn't move. And I'm like, oh shit. So I rack another one, get another one down range. I don't even know if I hit the second time. Doesn't move. Rack another one, put a third one in it. At this point, it stumbles, falls, right? And so I'm stressing out. I think I've got 2 more bullets in my mag. And in my head, I'm thinking Jim said, don't stop until it's dead. He said, don't stop until it's down. Once they fall, they're not going to get back up. But in my head, I got to go put more bullets in this thing, right? And so I take off 150 yards. I'm running through snow. It's
You're
like
running,
2.5 feet.
holy shit.
Yeah, I'm running through the snow. I got the rifle. I pull up. It's still, still kind of alive. Put another one in it. It's not dead. I run back. That's what happened. I had to go get another bullet. Run back, go grab my other bullets because I left my pack. I was too excited. Go back, put another one in it. Finally, it's out.
5 bullets. 5.
I know. Yeah.
That's got to be intense on your nervous system, seeing it. All those noises.
I mean, it wasn't like moving around much. It was just kind of like, it was intense, dude. It was like,
that's when intimate, man.
Yeah. When you're 5 feet and it's staring you down, it's like, so it was,
because most of the time people like let them die.
They do. Exactly. But I wanted to put it out and I wanted to make sure it went out, without any issues.
Yeah, I mean, and it's 150 yards, so you're just staring at it anyway.
Exactly. And so, yeah, dude. And then, I'm like, well, that's that. You know what I mean? And so I'm super stoked about it.
Did you all have walkie-talkies or?
We had an in reach. Yeah.
So did you message him like I got it?
Jim, because I don't know how much faith he had in me. He said he had faith in me.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just you two in the mountains, and you're capable.
Yeah, so. He brought me out, and so I messaged him like, "Hey, bull down," and he's like pumped up. So I go pick him up, and thankfully, so when it comes to bull elk hunting, the hardest part is packing them out.
Yeah,
because you're packing out a quarter at a time, and a quarter weighs 60, 70, 80 pounds, and so. Thankfully, we only had to pack it out 200 yards because we're 200 yards from, there was a marsh that we had to cross, but 200 yards from the UTV or the ATV road. So
lucky.
So lucky, yes.
It shows you it's meant to be, though.
Yeah, oh, yeah, for sure. Wow. I mean, there's not a ton of skill involved, honestly. I know that. When it comes to hunting in general, half of it's luck in general, firstly, and then the other half is the skill, hitting your shot right. So I did hit my shot right. So that was nice.
5 times.
5 times. Tore the meat up.
Oh, you did?
Dude, yeah. Jim was like, you probably could have shot after the first round. Or you probably could have stopped after the first round.
That broadside one?
I didn't know. You know what I mean? And
Well,
you don't want to risk it running away.
Yeah, and dying somewhere else.
Yeah, Jim's told me stories. He's double lunged a cow and it's ran 300-400 yards, you know? And so,
especially if it's pressed.
Exactly. So I don't want to risk that. I would rather ruin a little bit of the meat. We pulled plenty of meat off the thing, but I'd rather ruin a little bit of the meat than for the bull to get away.
So you did. So you have whitetail hunted and things, right?
I have, yeah.
So on the elk, was that your first time seeing that one get butchered? Because he gutted it right there, right? Or did he show you how?
Yeah, we gutted it together.
Okay.
Yeah.
How'd that feel? Because it's such a massive animal.
Dude, it's crazy. It's like 3 or 4 deer. Whitetail deer. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and it takes a lot longer too. Because, with a whitetail deer, you gut it and then you drag it to the processor. But you can't do that with an elk. Mm-hmm. You've got to gut it. You've got to quarter it. You've got to take the rib meat out. I mean, you're processing half of it right then and there. Mm-hmm. And the interesting part too was at night, it would get down into the 20s or even a little bit below that. During the day, it would get up to 60, 65 down at like base camp. And we just hung the meat up and it sat for a week.
No, that cool chill, it's going to, and that's even better because it dry ages some. Mm-hmm. Because even with the deer I process them from start to finish, I do like a makeshift dry age where I have them sitting in a cooler that's cracked and things because I know the benefits. So you all hanging them in the air like that, especially that elevation, that probably made it so much more tender by the time you broke it down. But how was like the intensity of, have you butchered animals before?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was normal?
Yeah, it was pretty normal too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And especially being so close to the road.
Dude.
I can't believe you got an elk that fast. Congrats.
I know. Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. And then...
that means your next one's going to be hard.
I know, when we're going later this year. So we'll see. Hopefully, I'm prepping up now because I want to get into the backcountry. Like, I realize how lucky it was to not have to go very far.
That's still awesome, though.
Yeah, but I know that... for the big bull elk as well, you've got to get 3, 5, 7 miles in off of the beaten path. Which, dude, you hear 3 miles or 5 miles, and you're like, I kept hearing this. I'll talk to Jim. He's like, yeah, we'll go 3, 5, maybe 10 miles in a day. I'm like, well, I've ran a half marathon, right? I can walk 10 miles. Dude.
It's different.
So I'll tell you a story. That first night he gets me out there, and it is sleeting. This is right after, I don't know if you saw the 2 guys that died in Colorado earlier this year. Younger guys.
Outline or something?
No, they died to a lightning strike. Yeah, what? It was a crazy freak deal. And so that had happened 2 weeks prior to us going out. And so that was kind of top of mind, just like, oh no, you know what it was? Me and Jim thought it was a lightning strike. They got wet and they froze to death. That's what it was. Wow. So it was a bad deal. Young guys, they were pretty experienced. They knew what they were doing. So anyways, he gets me out there that first night. We're going to go scouting. And so we had scouted that first spot that I told you about. Then we went to this other spot that he historically has seen elk or killed elk in. And so it's probably 4:30 at this point. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be dark by 6. So we get out there, we start hiking, then we hike some more, and then it starts sleeting on us, and then we hike some more. And at this point, I'm like, okay, this feels a little sketchy, you know what I mean? So right before the sun's going down, we probably got 20 minutes of sunlight left. I ask him, I'm like, dude, it is wearing me out big time. This is the first night we're there. We get into this. Like we'd driven down, or it was the second night. We drove down.
You had the crappy sleep.
Had the crappy sleep, yeah. So it was that, right before opening day. And so I asked Jim, I was like, dude, we're like an hour and a half, 2 hours in to hiking down the side of a mountain. And I'm talking like a very steep gradient. Yeah, you're sliding down, grabbing tree branches with your pack on to then hiking up the other side of the mountain. And I'm like, Jim, are we almost there? He's like, no, but we will be. He's like, we're already here. We're going to finish it out. I'm like,
he was on some shit. Dude, he was teaching you the way.
All right. Sounds, and Jim runs ultra marathons and stuff like that. Not to say I'm soft, but I'm like, I'm dealing with a guy that...
Yeah, I saw his daughter just ran a half marathon.
The daughter just ran a half marathon.
She's like 8.
Yeah, they're built different, bro.
Different.
Yeah, and I'm not going to be the one to complain. So I'm like, all right, sounds like a plan.
Yes, sir.
And so we keep going, and I'm way in my head, dude. Like, I'm like, oh my goodness.
You got
because
a lot of trust in them.
Yeah, no, I have trust in him, but I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah.
I'm not prepped for this one bit. Once again, I kept hearing 3 miles, 5 miles a day. Okay, like no big deal. But 3 miles in the backcountry might as well be running. Yeah, with a pack on, might as well be 10 miles, or 12 miles here. And Oklahoma's really flat too.
And lower elevation.
Yeah, 100%. So at that point, I'm sweating. And Jim had told me, he's like, you really need to be careful with your layers. Like, he made sure that I got all the right gear. He's like, you need to be careful with your layers because what you don't want to happen is you get wet and then you stop and then you freeze. That's like how those two other guys froze.
Yep.
So we hit our spot, and at this point, it's dark. And we're 2 hours in. And
what were you hitting that spot for? That's just to scout? But you can't because it's dark.
Wanted to look for elk. Yeah. I mean, we had hit it like right when it was getting dark. There's no elk around. He'd been calling for them. We didn't see anything. It's like, all right, turn around. I head back now. And so we head all the way back. And
in the dark is crazy.
In the dark, yeah. Damn. And dude, Jim's like 6'4". I'm not a super tall guy. So one of his steps is like 2 of mine. So the last like mile, I'm like, dude, I will meet you up there. Because I've been keeping up with him this whole time. I was like, I'll meet you up there when I get there. And so anyways, we get back, and that was like the first reality check of like, okay, this isn't easy. And this is not going to be easy either. Which the pros outweigh the cons all day long. That's why I'm prepping there right now, because I know going into this last elk hunt, I got lucky. I wasn't very, I didn't have much endurance. Going into this elk hunt, I will be ready. So
I love that because it takes so much work.
Dude, it does.
And carrying the pack and just the elevation, being somewhere you're not familiar, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, and it is.
The fact that you did all that and got your elk, though, that shows that you like should keep doing it. Because I remember the first time I went hunting whitetail was only 5 or 6 years ago. It was my first time.
Oh, yeah.
And I got lucky and got a deer.
Yeah.
And it's like the universe gives you a little taste because I haven't got shit in a long time. And I've been working.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we wanted you to be hooked. But now you know what it takes. And
dude, I came back and got my ass kicked on some whitetail here in Oklahoma, like big time. I don't know what happened, but because I bought a bow, I was like, I'm going all in now. So I bought a bow.
What kind of bow did you get?
I got a Prime 34. Okay, it's like it's not a very well-known brand, but
is it pretty lightweight and everything?
It's very light. That's cool. And it's one of the nicer brands, I like that. It's just not as popular right now.
What do you like to shoot out on it? Yard-wise when you're practicing?
Dude, I shot with my buddy out to 65 the other day. Or it's been a couple months since
felt good?
I felt good, yeah, but I haven't shot since then, and so I shot out to like 35 the other day. 30, 35, and I felt pretty good about that.
And honestly, that's where you want to be.
Yeah, exactly. But dude, I'd like to shoot out to 100. That's what Jim shoots out to, and he thinks practicing out to 100 is
that 80 to 100 is definitely a good practice mode because I saw a picture one time because I'm sure you know who Cam Haynes is.
Oh, yeah.
And that might be Jimmy's cousin or something. But there's a picture where he's on a ridge shooting an elk, and I think it's 87 yards away, and he's arching it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is insane because the distance is just so far. Because even 35 to 40, people may be listening that don't shoot bows. And they're like, well, that seems close.
Yeah.
But even when you start grouping them, in a bottle cap from that size, you feel great.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of discipline.
It does. Yeah, and I need to move my peep. My peep's a little messed up right now.
Do you do it yourself as far as adjusting everything?
Nah, not the peep. I'm not comfortable enough right now.
Where do you take it?
They've got a bow shop just right there in Choctaw, so it's like 15 minutes from me.
There you go.
What do you shoot?
I shoot a old PSE.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so my dad started hunting he had hunted throughout his life.
Yeah.
But he started bow hunting probably like 2011, 2014 timeframe. And then he moved to the crossbow. He's in his 50s now, and he's just not messing with it. And he never misses. Obviously, a crossbow is great, but he's really good at shooting like rifle, crossbow, bow. But he got that crossbow because he said, I'm not fucking with him anymore. He said, I'm getting everything I see. And he does. But he gave me that bow. So he gave me that bow 6 years ago. And he had it since like 2011, 12. So it's pretty old. But usually right before season, I'll take it up to either H&H or another bow shop and have them there's one in Del City I went to that I liked.
Oh, okay.
and they'll do the strings and the
Yeah,
peep and
yeah.
everything. As far as weight, though, I don't have it at a ton of weight. I
Really?
think I have it at like in the 60s.
Yeah, I shoot like 65 or
Yeah,
66.
I think
or
mine's
something.
60 or 65.
Yeah.
Because over that, it was just kind of ridiculous.
Most of them won't go past 70 anyways.
Yeah, you hear people like, well, I shoot with 80 pounds or
Yeah.
whatever, but I need to shoot it more. Even when you're not hunting, it's just fun to shoot.
It is.
But the bows are just fun. My wife has a small traditional bow that she shoots.
Oh,
sometimes.
really?
She doesn't hunt yet, but it's only a 25-pound bow. It's more for practice.
Yeah.
She'll be out there hitting the target with this little trad bow.
Dude, you can still kill something with 25 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting into bow fishing now.
I think I saw you on the boat.
Yeah, I just got a bow fishing set up the other day.
Man, on the, real quick before the bow,
Yeah.
on the elk, when you all butchered it, I had a question. Did you all keep the cape and the antlers and everything?
Dude, okay.
Or the cape was torn up?
The cape was torn up. And Jim looked at me and said, well, here's how it went down. We start cleaning it up and butchering it. And close to the end, I was like, hey, are we going to keep the cape? Because he knew I wanted to mount it. He looks at me, he's like, I totally forgot you wanted to do a shoulder mount.
So he had cut it?
He cut it, and I could tell he felt bad. I was like, dude, don't worry about it. I'll do a Euro mount. Euro mount's just as cool, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was going to do a shoulder mount, but I'm not beat up about it. I've still got the antlers. That's what mattered the most to me, you know? And so, anyways, we just rolled with a Euro. So we did keep the head, and I paid somebody like $200 to do a Euro mount on it, but we didn't do like shoulder mount or anything.
I was just curious if he kept it and got it tanned or something. Cause it's just
No,
such good,
I wanted to, but it was just a lot more effort from what he was telling me at the time. I think on my next one, I do think that would be
That's usually how it goes.
Really cool. Yeah.
That's usually how it goes, as you get progressively. Because I remember the first year I got, my aunt was like, hey, we're going to take it to the processor, and I did it. After that one time, I was like, never again. I don't ever want to wait 2 weeks and then not know if it's mine or whatever. So I started butchering myself. Then I took a deer hide that we got last year and got it tanned, and I'm actually beating a pair of moccasins out of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and now I want to learn to tan because I'm like, yeah, I was happy to pay that older guy in Crescent that does it.
Yeah.
But now it's something else to like add to it. So I'm sure you'll go down that same path.
Dude, that's really cool, actually.
Yeah, I got it tanned to where it's like soft.
Yeah.
And then my aunt or my cousins know how to make moccasins. So they showed me like the traditional process of measuring your foot and everything. And then I'm in the process of beating them. It takes quite a while unless you're just doing it daily. So I'm halfway done with one on the beating, and then I've got to do the other.
Like putting the beads on them?
Yeah, so like taking the needle and...
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But you know, like traditional Indian moccasins where you'll see the beads around the bottom? That's what I'm working on.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, it's been crazy. And it's with a deer we killed, so it makes me feel good. But it's still like just adding to the list of things you want to do. Did you all eat some elk that night, though? You had to cut something off, right?
Dude, we actually didn't. We were so torched.
We
were so tired we went to bed. No, because he brought his seasoning down. Like, we were ready, but I don't remember. Like, we literally went back and just passed out after that first day. We were torched. Because we didn't have to drag it very far, but we dragged half the elk out, and then we dragged the other half through this marsh, and it was really marshy, and it was
I bet it's
a bitch, dude. It was like, this sucked. Thankfully, it wasn't very far at all, you know, but still, it just torched us. And then with just getting there like one day prior to that,
you're still gassed.
Yeah, we were just gassed. So,
and what do they say? It's like type 2 fun, where during it like really sucks, and then you look back and you're so happy. But I went bird hunting with my friend Sonny, which you would like, Sonny. I need to introduce you.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just go hunting because he's a hunter.
Dude,
he used to be a guide and stuff.
What type of bird hunting?
All types of waterfowl.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But we had went to Nebraska, and we were doing public land hunt in Nebraska. It's a ton of land, and even if it's not public, the farmers have signs where you're allowed to go out there.
Really?
It's really crazy.
Dude, that's cool.
There's a lot of like, it just says like walk in everywhere. Walk in.
Wow.
But we went out there, and it's called a Grand Slam, where it's like a prairie chicken, a quail, a grouse, and something else, a pheasant. And you hit all four, it's a Grand Slam.
Yeah.
But we probably walked 40 miles in 3 days of walking with dogs.
Yeah.
These guys know what they're doing. Like the bird guy, his name's Austin. He's from here. He trains dogs, raises pheasant, quail, does guided hunts, all these things. His name's Austin. his friend Sonny, who I've been really good friends with, he not grew up, but he's grown into a hunter for like 10 or 15 years. He was doing the dog stuff.
Okay.
So they know what they're doing. So it's kind of like the elk. I was just with them not knowing what's going on, and we're walking with this pack of dogs, and they would have like 3 or 4 dogs, but they had 11 with them, and they'd rotate them, and it was like an operation. But we walked maybe 40 miles in 3 days with those dogs, just up and down, like you're saying, not elevation like Taos, but more like rolling hills. And we were just talking about like how bad it sucked, and then especially driving home, like how winded we were, but it was that same type of fun where you're like, I'm so happy we did that. And we saw every bird we were supposed to. We got 3 of them. We only got 3 birds.
Shoot, only 3. So you got 3 separate birds.
3 separate birds.
Dang.
We got the quail, the grouse, and the prairie chicken.
That's a lot of ground to cover for not much birds.
No. But I think we all 3 kind of needed just a hunting excursion together to where it felt good to just do it.
It's never a failure.
No.
It's like you go out majority of the time and don't get anything. It is still fun.
To make you laugh, though, we did all that, right? The last day is when we got the birds.
Yeah.
And so we hiked to this ridge. And it's funny because we had jumped a couple birds, and I had missed one, and I think Sonny missed one. And it was like Austin was just locked in after that. So his dog pointed. He had a bunch of pointers, and he pointed at one, or it pointed at one. He pulled the gun up. As soon as the bird went up, he just dropped it. Just no hesitation. He was like, sorry, I shot it. I just, we'd missed the couple. I was like, no, we want you to do that.
Yeah.
Like, you're the good one.
Get on.
And it was just crazy to see. So instant with the dog pointing and then it flushing and boom.
Yeah.
So we got one. Then we turned to start walking back, and we can see the car. It's kind of one of those roads you're saying where it's 200-300 yards, but you can see it. It starts snowing. So we're walking back, and it's snowing. Another bird pops up. He drops it, and that's like the third or the second species. And then when we're walking out, the dogs aren't even hunting anymore because it's snowing pretty bad. Sonny sees a quail, and he's like, bird. And he runs over there and flushes it. He almost caught it with his hand, and then Austin dropped it.
So you got it like the last hour.
Yes, on the way back to the car, pretty much. So we got one on a hill, then walked down some, got one, and then got one by the truck.
That's wild.
Yeah. And so we did that. It's kind of like what you were saying. Like we did that 40 miles of all this walking, and then it's right by there.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean with like just the hard work. Because even that, because it's not packing out an elk. I mean, literally those birds, you just throw in your vest and you're good to go. But that's what made me buy a minimalist style shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
So I have a 3-pound 410.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for birds.
Wow.
And it was because I had a 12 gauge out there, regular size. And I'm like, I'm never carrying that for 40 miles again.
Oh, dude.
Because it may only be 8 pounds or 6 pounds, but it just adds up. I got this little light one. But
dude, every pound counts when you're putting mileage on or doing some endurance like that.
How'd you feel about buying all that gear? Not on the financial side, because I know you're smart with your money and everything.
Yeah.
But like, that's got to be fun to like build your kit.
Oh, dude, it was fun.
You enjoyed it?
Yeah. And I wasn't like, I enjoyed hunting, but I wasn't addicted to it until I got my elk. And then I was totally hooked. And then I appreciated my gear more after that than when I bought it. Like when I bought it was cool. I was like, this is cool. I'm excited to use this. And then like when we got out there, I got my elk, and then we came back and I got into whitetail hunting. I was like, oh, I get to wear.
You got all your stuff.
To wear my kuyu today or whatever. It, like my wife sent a meme yesterday, and it was like when Sitka guys are, or the night before when they're looking at their gear, and it's like just looking at their Sitka gear. My buddy's big into Sitka, but like, dude, that's how I felt. Like I was pretty stoked, just nerded out on it.
Oh, you have to.
Yeah.
When you say that, you were talking about, crap, sorry. Whatever, I just lost it. That was something to do with your gear, but I totally forgot. You were talking about bow fishing, though. Mm-hmm. Is that kind of the new thing you're onto?
Yeah, because it's not hunting season, so it's like, what do we do? Fish and bow fish, and I just bought a Polaris too. I was wanting.
Oh, that's a side by side, right?
Yeah, I bought a side by side. I wanted one for the ride off because we're buying a bunch of land, so for the ride off to go look at land, and then
because it's definitely going to get use.
Oh, it will get used for sure. And then to use on my next elk hunt later this year.
When you guys go back to
New Mexico. I wanted something to
That's what I was going to ask you. On the experience of hunting, do you think, like, since you weren't addicted before, it was like since Oklahoma has no public land, well, some, but was it the aspect of it feeling more wild and like having to tent camp and those things that kind of got you locked into it, or what?
I don't know for sure. That's a good question. I can't pinpoint it for sure, but I've never really had a hobby that I was addicted to. And when I got back, I was so dialed on whitetail hunting. It was like any morning I could get out there and hunt, I was doing it. Any evening I could get out there and hunt, I was doing it. And my wife was actually getting frustrated at me a little bit because I was constantly out at 5 a.m. But then I'd come back, you know what I mean? Like 9, 10 or whatever, I'd go work. But I think it was just the experience of, when you're out on millions of acres of public land and you're like, all right, there's an elk, and you put the effort in and you prepped, and like, I wouldn't say that I had a ton of prep work involved, but I was prepped up ready to shoot one, you know what I mean?
And you did it.
And
most people would have just looked at it.
Yeah. And then coming back, my buddy had just gotten a bow and had gone on a nice buck like the night that we were coming back. And that's when I was like, all right, I got to go get myself a bow.
That's awesome.
Get into some archery season.
Man, that makes me think with your, business partner, Jimmy, how's it feel to grow so much of the business together? Because you all do so many different aspects of real estate and community help and everything that you all do, but to also get kind of that other brotherhood, the hunting and the mentorship of him showing you like how it works, and like, how does that, having those different levels of the relationship?
Dude, it's awesome. It is. Like, I don't really have anybody else in my life that was big into hunting. My buddy Colton actually is a big hunter as well, and he was kind of getting me in. So my buddy Colton was kind of getting me in, and he's on my team to hunting. Kingston on my team was a hunter. So everybody around me was hunting, but I didn't have like somebody on the elk side that was like, I'm going to show you how it's done. And that's where Jim kind of stepped in, because dude, elk hunting is not a cheap sport by any means. Even if you're hunting on public land, it's hard to get tags. You can't really do an OTC. Colorado just got rid of over-the-counter tags. So it's not a cheap sport. So it's hard to find people to do that with.
And commitment of driving 8 hours one way, sleeping in a tent. It's a lot of work.
Exactly. And like Jim's told me stories, like he's taking people out elk hunting because, once again, not many people can do it. So when somebody tells him they want to go do it, he brings them out, if he's close with them. But he's brought people out and they're like, to get like homesick, you know what I mean? And so, anyways, I was glad to know that I don't get homesick. Like, of course I miss my wife, but I was like, I'm here for a mission, you know what I mean? I want to get on some elk. That's what I was excited about. But it's badass, dude, because we share the business side, and we get to go and buy deals and we're doing our development now. We've got 200-acre development. We've got our industrial building. We only do commercial and land deals together. And then he has his single-family portfolio. I have my single-family portfolio. And then we've got some small stuff that we own individually as well. Dude, it's cool, like, to be that tight with somebody, to know, like, I trust this person and they trust you, because that's what a partnership is, like, it's like a marriage in essence, Yeah,
and it's just those layers of the relationship. Like, I bet to some people they would say you want to keep business and keep this separate and this separate. But I've learned that being able to have those different levels of the relationship, it just makes it so much stronger. Because then when you all are having strong, like, heavy discussions about stuff that needs to be done, you don't have to preface with anything, because you all are on the same page.
100%.
And that goes a long way.
It really does.
And I bet he gets a lot from you too, on like the things the intangibles you give back to him.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, because it's not always one-sided, but I know what you mean, especially as the person you are, a giving person. You're going to be like, man, I feel like I'm only taking.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always something else you give back. And it's cool to see the growth in that. Because when I saw you all elk hunting, like, I think I even messaged Jimmy too. And I was just like, I'm so excited right now just to see it, because that kind of led me into my next question is, how was it for you to balance? I know you have systems in place, but high performers, they have a problem with turning it off, even if it's managed.
For sure.
So for you, was it hard, or were you okay with it? Did you struggle? Because I know you wouldn't get homesick, but I feel like you get business sick.
I didn't get that either, bro.
Good.
For me, what I've noticed now, when I go out of town, I need 24 to 48 hours typically, and I'm checked out. And I don't care what happens in business, honestly, because I'm out of the environment and now I'm worried about what's ahead of me. But it can't be just like normal vacation. It needs to be a hunting or fishing vacation. You know, like when we went to the Keys last year, I'm worried about catching sharks or barracudas or tarpon, you know, stuff like that. And I'm being serious. Like, I don't really care what happens to the business. I know that my people, I can trust to get the work done that we need to get done. Doesn't mean that I'm not checking in with them, you know, or making sure that things are going correctly. But I have my assistant, I've got my project manager, I've got my couple virtual assistants, and then I've got my transaction coordinator. And I just know what's nice is I know I've got the right people in the right place, that they're not going to do something that would be detrimental to our business, or they're not going to let something happen that would be detrimental to the business, you know? And so it's taken time, but I know I trust my people now. So when I'm out of town, I typically tell them like, hey, I'll be available when I'm available and I'll catch you guys later, you know?
I love it because that's exactly how I am. And I know that not everyone can do it, and that's not a bad thing. Everyone's different, but to hear that you've created that for yourself is so good, because it's hard to be present. We talked about it earlier in the episode that like we're working and then we're like, all right, let's sit down and do the pod. And when you're on vacation, sometimes if you're stressing about other things, you're not present where you are. Like,
it sucks.
You really want to enjoy that time. And I try to be better on it. It's my wife that helps me with it, because since we just came back from New Mexico, that's why I was so excited to talk to you about that elk. But I got home Tuesday at like 4 p.m. At 6 p.m., I was meeting someone at a like halfway style house to get an off-market deal signed.
Oh, goodness.
And then it hailstormed. And then yesterday, I was gone from 8 to 8. And I'm not always gone like that, but I was catching up on things. And it's like, man, if I wouldn't have stayed present for that extended weekend that we were, you know, hiking and climbing in the mountains, this would feel like a rush. But now I know it's just like each day has its purpose. And it's like, well, these days I'm grinding. These days, nothing. Because I looked up and I think I had 47 missed calls from a few days of not touching my phone. I didn't even look at them. I was like, I don't see very many voicemails.
The people must not be too important.
The people I was talking to deal wise, we texted, and it was just, I'm just happy you do that, because
thank you, bro.
You're 24, right?
Yep.
You're 24 years old. You've had more success than some people have in their entire life, but you've always stayed balanced. And I love to see it not consume you in a way where you're only numbers driven. And you don't think of, you know, your little farm animals you got going. The stuff you have with your wife, taking care of your brother. Like all the stuff you do that, yes, work helps you do that because you get finances and space and things, but you keep it balanced. And I know that we all have our hardships, but that's beautiful for people to hear, just like your realness on the YouTube video, that like you can find some balance. People like to say there's no balance, but I think if you're disciplined and dedicated, you find yours.
Yeah, for sure.
It looks like you found yours.
Thank you, bro. It's an ebb and a flow. You know, it's like when people think of balance, they think of, I'm going to be getting off of work every day at 4:30. It's like, that is not realistic typically. You know, I don't want to say it's not realistic. I think anything can be realistic if you want to make it realistic. But for me, that's not realistic. But it is, you know, certain days I'm done working at 5:36. I hang out with my little brother, then we play Minecraft, you know. And then I go hang out with my wife, you know, and then certain days I am working till 7:30, 8 o'clock, you know, and it's just every day's a little different. The weekends now I do try and take off, and like I don't really do much on the weekends, which that's been really nice.
Isn't it funny? Because we've been in real estate quite a few years. I'm coming up on year 9. Where are you at?
Yeah, year 7 here soon.
See, same amount of time. It felt so good when I made the transition to enjoying a weekend.
Dude,
it's like I forgot about them. I didn't want to be the guy waiting for the weekend. I knew I had to hustle every day. But like now, I think it's been a little over a year, like Saturday and Sunday, besides the updates with the systems that we have. It's kind of cool.
Dude, it is.
I'm like, I enjoy this. Friday night, hanging out. Like, I don't go out, but like, I think I'm going to watch an extra movie or whatever.
Yeah, like tomorrow night, I'm excited, you know. I'm going to go on a date with my wife. So
that's so cool, man.
And that's something like, when it comes to the balance piece, to your point, it is tough. It's something I have to stay cognizant of, because I can find myself getting out of balance often just by like, I get really excited. So like if I'm in a really excited mood to like go and buy a bunch of deals, or like I get overly excited, I do neglect other parts of my life, you know? And so it's good to have that reminder, because we're not perfect, you know? And I think it's you have to stay present in the moment and know, like, okay, the time we have today is what we have, and I need to spend it with what matters the most, which is relationships, you know? And it's so easy to forget that when you're like just running and gunning, which is what I'm doing a lot of time, you know? But yeah, dude, weekends are super nice. And it's not like, you know, a lot of people, I think they look forward to the weekend because it's the only thing they look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, what I've noticed is I have like different parts of my week that I look forward to.
Hmm.
Like I look forward to my weekend, and then it's like Sunday, I'm like, all right, now I look forward to Monday. I look forward to Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, Wednesday, and like each day, like you said, I've got different things that I'm doing. Doesn't mean I always look forward to them, but typically I like to look forward to them. And then they're just different phases of the week. It's not like the weekend is the only thing that I enjoy. Like I enjoy every phase of it. Not all the time, but I try to, you know?
Yeah, but that time blocking is so important. So it adds to it.
Yeah.
Like I time block for my work. I'm time blocking for my personal life. And that's where you can still grow in multiple areas. Because something you said is like you get excited and you neglect other areas.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm that way sometimes, especially when it's not always work related, but anything that needs to be accomplished and I get fixated on it.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just locked in. I'm like, well, I got to accomplish it first.
Mm-hmm.
And then I forget some of the steps. Is it your wife kind of checking you, or do you check yourself and realize like, oh, I'm out of balance? Or like, what are those moments like where you notice like, hey, I might need to slow down?
Dude, honestly, it takes my wife checking me.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be realistic, it does. Because she says I'm a dumbass, which sometimes I am, you know what I mean? But I just don't think about it. Like, and that's not great to say, but like I'll get in a really, where maybe I'm coming home at 7 every night for a couple days in a row, and it's like, what are you doing? You know, I'm like, well, I'm still playing Minecraft with E, and I'm still, you know, checking in, but that's still kind of imbalanced, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so anyways, every night's not going to be perfect, and there are certain nights that I'm going to work till 8 o'clock at night, and it just is what it is. But I just don't want it to be an every night thing, because one thing that I do notice is guys that are high achievers like us seems to be the number one regret they have is not spending time with their family.
It doesn't matter what interview you watch. That's all you hear. You're like,
exactly.
Dang, I don't want to be that.
So I try and keep that top of mind, you know what I mean? But then even sometimes my perspective is not the same as B or E, you know what I mean, in my life. And so like my perspective might be like, oh, I'm taking care of everybody and I'm taking care of everything. From them, they still feel neglected. So it's good to have that reminder, because a perspective is only one-sided.
Yep.
You know, and just how I feel may not be what's actually being perceived, you know? So
yeah,
something I'm trying to do better at.
I love these moments of conversations with men, because it shows you like the pressure you deal with, but then also realizing like the little stuff matters. Like you'll think, like you said, you're taking care of everything, so everything should be good. And then they're like, yeah, but you didn't switch the washer.
Yeah.
And you're like, in the most respectful way possible, because obviously you know you should have done it. But you're like, the washer. Like that's like a task that's that's where I'm getting discipline. And then you realize, like, just like when you were getting guidance from other people in your life, like the attention to detail. But sometimes I have to check myself where I'm like, yeah, well, I did say I would switch that out. Yeah. So I need to put that on, not on the list, but I need to make sure and take that serious, just like I would take wrapping up the contract or getting a contractor out there, or closing, or whatever it is. Like sometimes it catches me off guard, and my body wants to go into defense mode where I want to not really get upset, but like get more on the negative side. Yeah. But then I have to slow down and be like, yeah, it's just a piece of it. 100%. But I know what you mean. Where it's like, damn, that seems so little for what I'm doing. And I'm like you said, it's not about everything you're doing. Like you still have to be intentional, or it still feels like that neglection.
Exactly.
It's crazy, man, because we're still young in the journey, as long as we're, you know, blessed and favored to keep going. But sometimes, I don't know, as men, it feels like you're in a rush to get all those things. So it's nice to talk about it, so we know that when we are focusing on other parts of the pie, that it's for a good reason.
Exactly.
As far as the business goes, then I'd like to look into that some, as far as you always have goals set for you, things you're looking to achieve. I have seen the posts about the development on the lots and basically neighborhoods or something, right?
Yep.
Besides that, what are some other avenues or what are things you're working on or looking forward to?
So it's been interesting because last year, between what we bought and what we sold, was around 80 houses. And so, we actually closed on or 80 properties, houses, industrial, retail space, But what's tough about that is like going into this year, a lot of people think, or I think in my head, okay, well, now if we did 80 last year, we got to do 100 this year, we got to do 120 this year. And so a lot of my goals, sometimes I make them and then I realize they're ego driven. And I'm like, there's no point in that, It's just the same thing. People want to own 100 units or 100 doors. It's like, why? For like, what's the cash flow?
What if 5 doors did it all?
Exactly. I'm like, why? So what's been tough about this year, we wrapped up 2025 well. We'd closed on very end of 2025. I closed on probably 6 deals like the last day of the year.
Wow.
We bought a 15,000 square foot industrial building. And then we'd bought our 200-acre development a couple months before that. And so moving into 2026, I realigned in my head, okay, Q1, these are the things I want to do. And the main goal was, let's finish up some of these problem projects that we've got. You have little single family stuff that lingers. Let's finish up those. Let's dial back a little bit on the acquisition and let's focus on the development, the industrial, because just holding cost alone, even though the development and the industrial are owned with me and Jimmy, we're 50-50 partners. We're negative cash flow on those. We'll call it 10, 12,000 a month. You know what I mean? And then plus my single family. And
holding costs, which could be crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
It could be good, and then out of nowhere,
all of our vacancy, because we don't have a ton of vacant. We have 1 or 2 vacant across our 60 doors or so, but we're holding 7 to 10 vacant properties that we're either remodeling, flipping, etc. And so we still have a decent amount of vacancy there. So, anyways, Q1's like, okay, let's handle that. Well, I wake up a couple weeks ago. I closed some deals, and I'm in a really good cash position actually, and I'm like, I haven't bought enough houses. It's like there's this constant ebb and flow. I've only bought probably 6, 7 houses this year. We've got 2 or 3 in the pipeline that we'll be closing on, but we did over 1 a month or 1 a week, over 1 a week last year, and so it's weird. It feels slower. You know what I mean? But we're dialing our systems, and so I have to remind myself that yes, I want to keep my pipeline full. I want to buy deals. But I'm trying to buy better deals, Like last year, I bought good deals. I'm just trying to buy, instead of the flips that make 30,000, flips that make 45, 50 grand, and just do fewer but higher net and then hold everything else. That's my single family goal. Net passive cash flow, like realistically, if I take out my vacancy, CapEx, management, property management, I'm at probably 12,000 a month, like net cash flow on my holdings, not including our commercial assets. And so
I remember you showing a video one time of like, people want to show you what they're like making, and then you were showing what you minused and everything.
Exactly.
And I mean, it's important to focus on that efficiency too, especially because you are so good at what you do. So you could just scale the wrong way.
Yeah.
But I think once you get to a certain point, which you are hitting that point, you can be even more intentional than you already were.
Yes, thank you.
Kind of move the needle a little more on bigger projects like that development. That's a big deal.
Exactly.
And since you are a high performer, you're like, well, I'm not doing something today. And it's like, yeah, but that might be like, and maybe not that example, but say a development's a 1-year project or a 3-year project or whatever it is. It's like, okay, these are just different investments.
It's weird. I've been stressing myself out a little bit because I don't have as much going on. I have a lot going on, but way less than what I had, say, June of last year. We had almost 20 projects on the ground. Now we've got 12 projects on the ground, and better systems. And so it feels like less work right now. And so I'm sitting here like, okay, well, what I have to remember is our industrial building, the second we lease that out, we're going to add 300,000-400,000 to our net worth. Or more, depending on where we finalize our lease. The project in Noble, we're on track to sell out. We bought it for $865. have about 200,000 in development. We're selling out at 1.9. So it's a very good margin on that deal. It just takes longer, you know? And so you kind of sit in between wondering if you're doing the right thing, you know? It's how I've felt a little bit recently. I know I'm doing the right thing, but it's just been a little bit slower. You know, I'm used to that fast pace. The single family life is a lot different than development and industrial and stuff like that we're moving into. And so one industrial building might be 10 single family, you know? And so it's just a weird transition as I buy these larger assets, and we're buying flips that, like, we're doing 2 flips right now that are anywhere from 70 to 100K in rehab each, which most of my flips last year were 30 to 40K in rehab each, you know? And so it's just odd. So anyways.
But it's interesting though, because it's like, I think, and this is the outside perspective, the one view, it's like not planned. The steps you were taking were going to make that happen, and now you're here. So you just need to learn a new version of you.
Yeah.
Because the heavy output on the single family, it can be, one, it can be draining, but 2, you do have to have, why am I not having 6 closings a month or 5 closings, 9, 10, whatever it is. You know, you're earning this new position from all those years, even though it's fast for people that are listening, but 7's still a long time. All that hard work you did, and like the sacrifice, the dedication, the discipline, the not spending money on stupid stuff, like just being smart, that's the level you're at. So now you'll find this new version of yourself where maybe it's, hey, Zach, we're going to go elk hunting for 2 weeks. Come on.
Yeah.
And I think over time you'll learn, even though you do good about balance, that you have to graduate levels.
Yeah.
And it's okay to maybe have some more time for yourself, even if it seems, new.
100%.
Because you're going to be able to make bigger waves off of less decisions. And that's going to be new, but
it's odd. It's like, our brains are programmed. We have anxiety because it was a default, to keep us alive in the past. It's like, I feel that sometimes when I feel like I'm used to feeling overwhelmed with houses, and I don't feel that right now. And it's weird, honestly, It's
congrats, though.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
I know you take time to celebrate yourself, but that's huge.
Thank you.
We talked about it earlier with the media presence you're getting, the stuff you do with Jimmy as far as in the community and in business. You had your investor conference here at LRE, a bunch of people, tons of people from across the real estate realm, not all from here, that are taking value or getting value from you. But you're also getting time with the wife. You're building the homestead. You've got your brother. You've got the elk. Like, it seems like a lot, or maybe times you're not doing enough, but man, I just hope you always make sure to relish in that. Not in a way of getting lazy.
Yeah.
But man, just like the hard stuff you do on those days where you're 8 to 8 or whatever it is, like that's why you're getting these gifts. And it's a blessing to see because you're a good dude.
Thank you.
And I look forward to knowing you for years and years and being able to look back at this time when we're older and be like, dang, you remember when we were like panicking? And it's like, look how far ahead we were or you were at that time.
100%.
So it's interesting to see where you'll go because,
thank you, bro.
I mean, we're even about 10 years apart. Which
that's
crazy.
True. That's true.
Like, I can't believe I'm almost 10 years older than you, but it's like, I see all the stuff you do in different avenues with your family and with work, and it's good to see.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
And you're well respected, which is a good thing. And that comes from your actions, and that's what you're big on. So it's nice. But as far as the conversation, man, like this is exactly what I was looking for.
Heck,
was just some refreshment and getting to catch up with you because I know we don't get a lot of time.
Yeah.
But as far as like your
we
business,
should go fish, bro.
We should. I'm not really a fisher, but I'll do it with you.
You serious?
That's not
here's
my thing.
the deal. We'll just talk.
I know how to do it.
Yeah.
I never want to fish unless like I'm going to catch that one and eat it, catching them and throwing them back.
Oh, I eat my fish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go catfishing.
Okay. I'll work with you.
All right.
Yeah. Where do you like to go out by your house?
I just bought a little John boat. I put a trolling motor on it.
Perfect.
Dude, this is like the epitome of I'm cheap, but I like to spend money on what I like. Bought this John boat for $1,000 on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
And then I bought a trolling motor I bought the cheapest one at Bass Pro for $200. Dude, we got it in the water the other day. It literally goes 2 miles an hour, but it will go upriver. And so we'll go hop in the we'll hop in the John boat, dude. Come out with me,
I love
buddy
that.
Colton.
Yeah, I would love to, bro. Because it's funny you say that because I haven't had a pod about it yet, which is cool. But I'm the same as you. That it's hard. Besides experience, we've talked about this before. We'll spend money on experience.
For sure.
Like, and that doesn't mean blowing money, but it's like if we can go to this part and celebrate it with our family, like that's real life.
Yeah.
But my wife and I have been sharing a vehicle for 6 or 7 years because we got the motorcycles and we didn't want any car payments.
Yeah.
So we were just like balancing that. Recently, we've been climbing more and more. And so there's times that we want to go to certain areas where we can climb, like the Wichitas or something. Yeah. And we need another vehicle. Yeah. We're like, all right, so we don't want a car payment. And not that it's not something you can afford. It just seems like a dumb investment. So I bought a project truck off Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I got a Jeep Comanche. It's like a 1988 and it's little single cab stick shift. It's fucking cool.
Dude, that's all.
It's in the shop right now. It runs.
Really?
But I wanted to be able to drive it.
Yeah.
So I was able to drive it from the guy I bought it from over by the village.
Oh, nice.
And then to my house, which by Hefner.
Yeah.
And then drive from there to the fairgrounds area where the mechanic was, which he was surprised it made it that far. He was like, this drove over here? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, that's a good sign. So I'm supposed to actually pick it up in about a week or so.
Nice.
But it's funny you say that about the John boat because I could have definitely been like, all right, let's get another vehicle. Or you could say, let's get a nice boat. And it's like, no, I want a project that I can work on and like, I don't know, just have some fun in. So you saying the John boat makes me happy. I'll come fish with you, but then when I get this truck going, I'll pull up on you in the little
there
truck.
We go. All right, I like it.
But as far as the pod, man, I appreciate you a lot.
Thank you, bro.
Catching up with you is always great. And I know for the listeners, you get a lot of value from the business that Cam and I talk about because we may be moving fast, but there's a lot of gems that'll help people propel themselves forward. But those moments of talking about real life, like the elk hunting and the balance and taking time for yourself are so important. So I just appreciate you, bro. And if you don't have anything else, we'll wrap up. But I just thank you every time.
Dude, thank you for the opportunity to come back on your platform, bro, and just have a good time.
Yeah, it's been a journey, and for you to come on for a second time is a blessing, and you'll be a repeat guest forever. Yes, but I'll always love to check in, and then on our next adventure, we'll get this catfish going.
Thank you, bro.
Thanks, bro.